So I just want to shout out Joe Burrow real quick, along with Coach O and the rest of the team for winning the Natty. If you know anything about college football, the story behind Joe Burrow's career is actually insane.
Let's go, let's go. Woo! Ever since that text stand, baby.
Before my study abroad program in Copenhagen started, which is where I am right now, I was actually visiting my roommate from college for a week in Milan. Thankfully, Switzerland's only a 3-hour car ride, so that's why we were in the Alps and went to St. Moritz. It was a really good time, and once again, gotta thank you, Lewis. I really thought Milan was a super historic city with places like the Duomo, which is one of the oldest cathedrals in all of Europe, I think honestly the world, literally only 100 feet away from stores like Louis Vuitton and Chanel, just because Milan is the fashion capital of the world, and seeing that mix of stuff was super interesting and I just had to share it. Because I was in Milan for that week, I have a lot of footage and I got some really good shots there. I just didn't want anything to go to waste. So I was like, I can probably hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Ironically, I wanted to make this video about why I decided to study abroad. Don't worry though, I'm going to be in Copenhagen for the next 4 months and I'll get some good footage from here and wherever else I decide to travel. I think the best place to start with why I studied abroad is with a little bit more about myself. I was born and raised in a town called Hagerstown. You know how Maryland kind of looks like this? Well, I lived right there. According to Google in the 2010 census, there are approximately 40,000 people in Hagerstown. On some days though, it feels like there are 400. That's because Hagerstown embodies small town America. You could literally go to prom with the girl that you used to play in the playground with who just lived across the street. And especially when social media came on the scene, you knew all the beef across town. During high school, me and my friends got in fights with kids on Twitter about living on farms, even though they lived like 10 minutes away from us, and that really wasn't an insult at the end of the day. The biggest thing that comes from living in a small town is probably developing a small town mentality. Life in these places is pretty straightforward and simple, and people end up developing these habits and routines that make them super content and they become really familiar with. There's nothing wrong with wanting to live in a small town, but personally that's just not for me. I was always fascinated with learning about other cultures and history, and I think that's what really stemmed my interest from wanting to travel the world, on top of living in a small place like Hagerstown. I realized there's just so much more out there than what was around me every day. And then coming to college and meeting all my friends and all these people from across the world, it made me want to travel even more. Interestingly enough, I actually did study abroad over the summer in Hong Kong for a month. And when I came back, I really wasn't sure about studying abroad again. It kind of crossed my mind because a lot of my friends were going. But then I was talking to my roommate and I was like, this is the type of thing you can only really do in college. When you're working and traveling, it's not the same thing as literally just studying abroad and being able to go out in the city, have fun, explore. And it's only something you can really do with your friends while you're young. It's a lot harder to coordinate when you all have families down the road. And I didn't want to lose that opportunity. I need content. Okay, Greg.